I'm a conservative, Trump-loving Republican Australian. This is the mask I got. This is my mask, man. Trump mask.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, you can have a feel. That's Trump me, man. That's the Don.
Yeah, wow. How much did you pay for this?
Yeah, so it might have been just shy of $7,000, but
Right, okay.
he wants world peace, and he's just a funny dude, you know, and what a great guy.
This is Alan. He might just be Australia's biggest Donald Trump supporter. Around 1 in 4 Aussies say they'd prefer to see Donald Trump as the next US president. He's the most popular Republican candidate in Australia since 2008, but he's controversial. So I spent a day with Alan to understand more about his support.
Tell me, why do you love Trump so much as an Australian?
Just look at him, man. He's an honest guy, hey? So yeah, this is my cafe that I've got. Had it for about 6 months. Come on in. So I sell my beans online, and I've got the Trump stuff here.
And what's your best-selling piece of merch here?
Oh, definitely the Trump hats. I mean, I can't replace them enough.
How many do you reckon you sell every week?
Like probably 20 probably. The MAGA hat, key rings. There's the Bible. There's a real working Bible. Yeah, from microscope.
So what percentage of customers do you think you lost through selling Trump merch?
85% of customers definitely not happy with it, and you know they'll say their final thing, and this is my last time here.
And what financial impact has that had on you personally?
We're just going off savings at the moment.
And no regrets?
What for what, you know? Yeah. I just love Trump so much. Like the shirt here says, conspiracy theories 20-0, you know? The experts nil, like that's where I'm kind of with it. And then we've got the Trump, the famous tweet that he did, you know, Kofifi. That's the house blend that we use here.
When did you first become a Trump supporter, did you say?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were your views on Trump before then?
Thought he was arrogant, brash, crazy, no brains, like everything that I understand where people come from. I said to my friend, he was Australian, I said, can you believe I read that they reckon Trump will win? He goes, yeah, no, he is. What about his policies? And he said, I'll send you a few videos. And within half an hour, I was his biggest fan ever. I was like, this is everything I ever said about living when I used to live in America. He's me. And then I just loved him, yeah.
What about him did you love?
Just his whole stance on the border, and he talked like me and you.
So do you come here often?
Yeah, every week.
In terms of like the Trump merch, how do you feel about it in the shop?
I'm not a Trump supporter, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not that invested in US politics, so yeah, it is what it is.
And what are your views generally on Donald Trump?
I think he's got a lot of strong opinions, and I don't agree with most of them. I know his attitude towards women and what women should and should not be doing. Don't agree with that.
We spoke to one of your customers who came in and said, gee, didn't support Donald Trump because of some of his views. How do you feel about that?
Trump said himself that he apologised for his remarks, and hey, that's fair enough. I think she could probably look into a bit deeper, and she might actually see that he does like women, and he is nice to women, so.
Over 24 women have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. How do you react to that then?
Fake news.
Do you think a potential president should have values like that?
Any president candidate should be of a moral, sound human being.
But is it moral, sound human being of him to have, you know, been charged with sexual offences?
Absolutely not.
As an Australian, we're obviously so far away from the States, so why do you have such an interest in him?
I think we're far away geographically, but the Prime Minister's a phone call away from him. You know, America does set the tone, and the rest of the West just adjusts to it.
So do you show support for Trump in other ways as well?
Yeah, like online. I'm in a Facebook group and admin of other Trump supporter groups. Like, until we get shut down, you know, they get confiscated and taken away.
Why did it get shut down?
Oh, well, Zuckerberg isn't really on that team. is he?
Right. Was it taken down for like misinformation or what was
Yeah,
the reasoning?
misinformation.
Right.
Which has probably all since been proved true. You know.
Yeah, so someone's...
Trump election watch party.
Do people generally respond pretty positively to these posts?
Yes, especially when a few guys are in there and they're on a good streak on their semen retention streak, and they become more enlightened and closer to the whatever's above. And you got a smirk on your face like you know what's going on there, mate. What's going on there?
So you see, Donald Trump's rise in popularity within Australia has actually been years in the making. I spoke to Matt Clark, a political researcher, who said there's a growing right-wing movement and a feeling that the current system just isn't working. Donald Trump's seen as a saviour type figure.
People are struggling with cost of living pressures in both the US and Australia, with both Trump and Harris pitching two very different solutions. According to a Lowy Institute poll, Trump's popularity in Australia has actually gone up since he first ran for president in 2016.
When you heard Trump had lost the 2020 election, what was your reaction?
I immediately felt a tear roll down my cheek, and that was a sad, sad time, man.
Trump still claims that election was rigged.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
100% that was rigged, man. We had that one, and then in the middle of the night, all the votes suddenly come pouring in.
The Attorney General in the courts dismissed any claims of voter fraud, though.
Yeah, you're probably looking at Democrat judges, and we moved on. We can't dwell on the past.
He's the one, the dickhead.
So 3/4 of Australians in a recent poll said they would prefer Kamala Harris over Donald Trump as the next US president. What's your take on that?
Scary. It's a scary. I probably believe it too.
Just talking about some of the criticisms that Trump's frequently known for. How about the Capitol riots?
That appeared to be an inside job.
How about the fact that Trump was impeached and 6 people died, 6 people lost their lives?
Terrible that people lose their lives for anything, and that's what Trump brings. He wants peace.
Do you look at both sides of politics?
100%. Mainstream media's in our face every single day. You can't escape it. So we're all a lefty. You go to school, your science teachers teaching climate change.
I'd say there's a fair bit of scientific evidence of climate change.
Trust the experts. We've heard that one, haven't
You
we?
don't trust that? You don't trust scientists?
You do? I haven't heard him being called racist this time around, which is nice to hear, because we're not racist people, and I don't believe Donald Trump's racist.
Do you think the comment about immigrants eating cats and dogs was a bit racist?
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
Not if they are.
But they're proven to have not been.
It's an allegation. I'm not a one-eyed Trump supporter, and I do have criticisms of him.
Do you have any other mates that also support Donald Trump?
Yeah, I've got a few mates, and we have a chat about, the latest conspiracy theories, as you guys would say. Yeah, here's your coffee.
Cheers.
Oh, thank you very much.
When I first met Jason, he was a big hardcore lefty. I kept my distance a little bit from him because you were saying some outrageous stuff.
What was I saying?
I don't know,
then?
just like, you're like a greenie or something, weren't you?
I find it really hard to listen to fact checkers after all the disinformation through COVID and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. I really struggle believing anything.
2024, you choose your own facts.
I just see there the corruption on the left, the good on the right.
I always grew up as a little kid, man, like the man on the moon.
You don't believe?
Oh, it's very hard to now, man. But it's a
Especially
bit...
when you go back and look at all the images. I just know it's going to get wild over there. You will see riots. It's
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
I just hope there's no riots. I'd like to see peace. Whatever happened, happened. We lived through one Biden administration now, and better than violence.
So after spending a day with Alan, it's clear that for some Aussies, American politics is having a huge impact on their lives. And it's not just about Donald Trump's policies, it's about who he is as a person. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe for more.